Welcome back. Index Card a Day 2017 with Creative Katie. That's me, Karen Burchill. This is card 16. The prompt was Rainbow, and I've entitled it Dance. Links to special supplies used in my project are in the description box below. Hit the subscribe button and then check your notifications. Check the setting to be notified when a new video comes out and you won't miss any. So I start with a gessoed repurposed flashcard. And I was so excited that the day I got my distress crayons was the day that rainbow was the prompt, because I actually have all the colors. Up to now I've had one blue, one green, one violet, but now I have, at least all the colors of the rainbow. Now I start here by stamping with my script stamp. And I'm not sure that any of this is going to be seen at the end, and actually it isn't. But sometimes, just in case, even if you have a little bit peeking through, it just adds that little extra interest. So I'm flipping through my stencils and trying to find something that I can put texture paste through. Now my first thought was to use something fine, like this Tim Holtz stencil, which I love. And then I grabbed this one. Now I'm not sure if this was a Silhouette cut file that I purchased from Silhouette or it was a freebie that I got off somebody's blog, but it's one that I cut with my Silhouette, and I love the geometric shapes of this one. So I'm just taping it down. It's a little bit on the thinner side, and I just want to make sure that when I put the texture paste through, the modeling paste, that it has a great chance of just staying where I want it to be. So applying the flexible modeling paste with my palette knife, and I've used flexible modeling paste and I like it. It's what I ordered when I first started, and now I've used the light modeling paste, both from Liquitex, and I like this one better. It's just personal preference. Use what you have. I'm going to pull that off, clean up the edges, and let it dry. So now I'm going to start applying my 7 colors of distress crayons. And I'm just putting on a band of color of each color as I go in the order of the rainbow. Now I should have maybe measured to make sure that I had them the right size. The first ones I could have made a little bit bigger, because I ended up with extra large ones, but then I just made that the top and it all worked out in the end. They go on really easy, and I like that they are more like a crayon or a pen as opposed to the gelatos. I also like the feel of the distressed crayons better than the gelatos. So you will see me on camera. What I'm doing is I have my Dylusions white paint, and I am just dipping my finger into the white paint and rubbing into and blending the distressed crayon with the white paint. And I got this idea, and her name, so you can see it, from Renji, and she has an absolutely awesome YouTube channel. Is one of the people that I watched from when I started, and she just recently did where she activated her gelatos using Dylusions paint, and I thought, what a cool idea. And since I knew I had my distress crayons coming in a shipment very soon, it just really struck a chord with me. She also indicated that you can use gel medium to blend the distress crayon, and then that, because it's not white, you would get the pastel color. So once I have these blended a little bit, I'm just going to use the heat tool. And what the heat tool did is some of the distress crayon that was caught in the nooks and the crannies of the texture, it kind of melted it. So you can see here how it just kind of, you got that burst of color coming out. So I am going to add color to all these bands of color. and build it up to a color that I want. Now, while I want the one, one color to blend with the next one, the ones beside it, I do also want to maintain the color, each color. I don't want to lose one of the colors. And off camera, I'm just wiping my finger off every time onto a baby wipe just to keep it clean. So there you can see how the colors are much brighter at this point in time. Now, I really have no idea. I just knew where this project's going. I just knew that I want a color. I was going to try out this technique that I saw Ranjit use. Now, because I can't see some of that texture, that lovely texture, I want to bring that out. So I'm just using a wet baby wipe, and I'm just rubbing along the texturized part. And, I'm kind of isolating little bits in here and there to make it lighter. And this is one way to bring out that texture. So I keep moving my finger to a new part in the baby wipe, and I'm just rubbing. Some I'm rubbing harder, some I'm rubbing less. That's how much white will show through. But I'm really liking how this looks. And you didn't have to put too much pressure to get the distress crayons to come up. At this point, I'm trying to think what I'm going to put as a focal point on this, which is going to be the top or not. So, I'm kind of auditioning a few things that I have in my stash right next. And, the butterfly, I could have done that, outlined it in dark. But then I found this Ballerina, and this was another silhouette cut file I believe I purchased. And I just adjusted the size to fit the ICAD, and I'm just painting it white. I love the bright, bold colors of this background, and it just, silhouette is where I need it to go. And when I place it on the card, you will notice that it just kind of is framed by the pattern of the texture or the stencil that I used. Total fluke, wasn't planned. But it looks like, I was an absolute genius when I figured it out. I like when those happy things happen. Just edge this with black, applying with the felt applicator. And then I was thinking I was just going to very gently rub the felt applicator against the texture to kind of grunge it up. And it's okay. I didn't like it, so I kind of go in with a baby wipe and clean that up a little bit. But again, you have to remember, it is distress crayon, and while you can put water on it or it can get wet and it's not going to move, as soon as you apply any pressure and move it, it does. So here's where I just, it just looks like it's perfectly framed. These word stickers I purchased at the dollar store back when I started art journaling, and I really haven't used them. I really don't like how they shine. But I love the big, bold font that they use, and I love that it's clear, and so it just absolutely, again, works so well here. So after a quick cleanup, I use my gel medium, and I'm applying it to the back of the girl, not to the ICAD. I don't want to mess up any of the background and colors there. Pressing that in to make sure I get good adhesion. Just want it a little bit darker around the edges, so adding another layer. And again, I absolutely love how this turned out. Then I decide, well, you know what? I'm just going to add a little bit of splatter in the black just to bring the whole project together. Just to add another little detail. Thank you so much for watching and joining me on this index card a day journey. Some close-ups of the finished card are coming up. I hope you give this technique a try. It is absolutely beautiful. There's some close-ups of the amazing texture and the colors that you developed. It's absolutely gorgeous in my mind.